Nobody has bigger Sunday scaries coming out of week 8 than the Kansas City Chiefs. That is where we are going in this week's edition of the Coaching Spotlight. Today's Coaching Spotlight is brought to you by Verizon. It's the official private wireless network of the NFL's coach-to-coach communications. Kansas City Chiefs go out to Denver and they fall 24-9. That is why we are talking about the Broncos coaching performance. Sean Payton, for sure. More specifically, Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos. They've been through hell and back. A lot of it justified, but when we're this hard on the Broncos, we're for sure going to give them their moment in the sun. For as horrible as a season as it's been for them, they are riding a win streak. It started with Green Bay last week, but this is the centerpiece, a 24-9 win against Kansas City that we will remember throughout the season. By beating the Chiefs, Sean Payton has snapped every awful kind of streak you can imagine. Where should we start? Should it be the Chiefs' 16 straight wins against Denver? Should it be their 13 straight wins against the AFC West? Patrick Mahomes' 12-0 record against the Broncos? His 16-0 road winning streak against the division? How about 29 straight games with a passing touchdown? They're all done. They are all over. A truly, I'll say, embarrassing performance for the Kansas City Chiefs. Even if you're going to lose, you can lose with a bit more dignity than what they mustered against a Denver team that they handled easily just 2 weeks ago. Payton's going to get the credit for overseeing it. He is the known name. He is the Super Bowl winning head coach that was brought in to fix the issues in Denver. But I want to focus on Vance Joseph. The Broncos defensive coordinator was already in a really strange position. Brought in to coach the defense of the team that fired him as its head coach 5 years ago. I feel like we haven't talked a whole lot about that, but that's a weird spot for your DC to be in, accepting a job under Sean Payton to coach the team that he used to coach. If that wasn't bad enough, Joseph and the Broncos defense has been under some very, very deserved scrutiny. This is the team that allowed 70 points to the Dolphins back in week 3. Wouldn't know it. From the last 3 weeks, they've held their last 3 opponents to 19 points or less, including 2 games against the Kansas City Chiefs. This being their most impressive of all. They frustrated the Chiefs into 5 turnovers on the day, 9 points, 3 field goals. It's the first time the Chiefs have failed to score a touchdown since week 7 of 2021 against the Tennessee Titans. So just over 2 calendar years since the Chiefs were held out of the end zone. And like I said, this comes just 2 weeks after the Broncos went to Kansas City and held the Chiefs to 19 points. They frustrated them that night on Thursday Night Football. Forced 4 field goals, only allowed 1 touchdown. Chiefs win with just 19 points, which typically you hold your opponent below 20. You feel good about your chances to win. Don't do it then. Don't get the win. So what did Vance Joseph and the Broncos say? Okay, we'll cut it in half. We'll cut the Chiefs' production by 50%. 9 points against Patrick Mahomes, against the Kansas City Chiefs. Not the end of the world for the Chiefs. You're going to lose games, but the type of performance that prompts some soul searching, just can't get anything going. And they get flat out dominated. We were joking in the studio. As long as you have Patrick Mahomes, you have a chance to come back. And throughout that second half, you were waiting for the rally. You were waiting for the Mahomes magic. Certainly made a handful of Patrick Mahomes-y type of plays, but just couldn't string anything together on a regular basis. And now the Broncos, led by their defense over these last 3 weeks, it's again, they scored 24 points. It's not like the offense was lighting the world on fire in this game. But with the defense rebounding under Vance Joseph the way it has, it's got you feeling much like the Jets earlier in the season and continuing. We'll get to that in a minute. When the defense is playing like this, it's going to keep you in a lot of games. I don't know how much it changes their projection for the season. Chiefs still seem like they're in control of the AFC West until further notice. It'll be curious to see how it affects the trade deadline. We've spent so much time talking about all these guys the Broncos are going to ship off. But if they're playing this well, and Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton, to their credit, were a big, big part of the offense's success in this game, it makes you wonder if they're going to be as willing to sell everybody off or if they try to rally and and put a run together. I think maybe we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but an incredibly impressive day from Sean Payton. And like I said, more specifically, Vance Joseph. Broncos got their biggest bully off their back, and it is worth giving them some recognition.